Hello everyone, I'm Jeff Brand along with Walt Fry and Alan Raleigh for what should be the biggest and most exciting game of the Norristown High boys basketball season. Tonight the Eagles taking on the Galloping Ghosts of Abington High School in a battle of two ranked teams here in southeastern Pennsylvania. Going into tonight's ball game, Norristown ranked 8th in the Inquirer Southeast PA boys basketball poll, Abington ranked 6th. The Eagles are standing at a 12-1 record overall. Only one loss coming in their conference to Harry Truman High School. Abington undefeated in Suburban 1 League play, 8-0. They're 12-2 overall. Guys, this should be a fantastic game. And Alan, coming into this ball game, Abington, you've got one of the greatest coaches in Suburban 1 League history. You've got a team that's strong, but what are their strengths besides Jerome Colmer, or in addition to Jerome Colmer?
Well, you've got to start with Jerome Colmer. It's 6'6", a dominating force underneath the boards. He can really hit the glass. But most impressively about Jerome Colmer is he can get out in the front and lead the break, and he can also finish it off. And more, he even goes out and he can shoot the J from outside. He's a very, very impressive player that's getting a lot of attention from local scouts, and he deserves that type of attention. Another guy that Norristown has to worry about too is Chris Parker, 6'9", 6'10", depending on who you believe. But he is a force that Norristown's big men are going to have to contend with, and as we've seen all season, Norristown is primarily a guard-oriented team.
Absolutely, and Walt, you've seen these Norristown Eagles play consistently, and not so consistently throughout this season. You've seen them play a lot of games. Coming in tonight's ball game, their biggest strength and their biggest weakness.
The biggest strength, I'd say, is probably outside shooting now. Ken Cools has really started hitting the jumper a lot, but their inside game's been very good. I'd say the only weakness tonight would probably be, can they handle all the height that Abington has?
I agree. And Alan, what about the coaches? You've got John Cresswell. He's been the coach here for a number of years since the retirement of Bill Werkhuizer, a long-time Suburban 1 coach. Jim Wilkinson, 400 wins. They talk about one of the greatest coaches in Suburban 1 League play. Do you think they match up evenly?
In the coaching aspect, not necessarily the playing aspect. I think, one, Jim Wilkinson has that aura, just like Hank Stofko at PW and Bill Werkhuizer was here. They were one of the big three when Abington, Norristown, and PW were the big three of the old Suburban 1 League. John Cresswell's come in, and it's funny, the Eagles still make the playoffs each year. They still get to the quarterfinals of the district playoffs each year. Yet what happens? John Cresswell is still kind of more or less the new kid on the block, and yet you see he consistently puts out winners here. I think more than anything else tonight, I think it's just going to come down to how well, as Walt said, the Eagles handle themselves on the boards, because they are a transition team and they've got to do some rebounding to get the running attack going. And secondly, I think Walt will concur that they need big games out of Vernon Hill and Joel Jones, and they've been a little on the inconsistent side this year.
Well, what about that? Do you see this game as a fast tempo, run back and forth, or are we going to see any half-court offense?
I think you'll see a lot of half-court offense. Norristown might try to work it inside, even though they're a little bit outmanned as far as under the boards. And Abington definitely, I think, will try and get something going underneath with Jerome Colmer, even though both teams do have very good transition games.
Well, folks, it matches up as a tremendously exciting game. We've got a big crowd here at Norristown High School, perhaps the largest regular season crowd I've seen here in a long, long time. I think all the pregame hype has brought out the fans, and that's nice to see, especially when you consider all the games that we play against the Ben Salems and the Pensburys that bring out just a handful of diehard basketball fans. You're in for a treat tonight, I think. We'll be back in just a moment with tonight's ball game. All right, folks, we're on the air. Once again, I'm Jeff Brandon along with Alan Raleigh and Walter Fry. Eagles basketball 1987-88. Alan, I've been waiting for this game the entire season.
You mean you've been waiting for my arrival or my first appearance of the year for this long?
It's nice to see. You've lost a little bit more hair since the last time the fans laid eyes on you, but you still look good. You look healthy.
Thanks, Jeff, and just remember you're not getting any younger.
That's right.
It's a shame we've got to work with a young guy like this Walt Fry character, right?
I know. He hasn't lost any of his hair yet.
Well, Jeff, I want to put you on the spot here. Walt Fry, he was leaning over to me. He says, make sure you ask Jeff Brandon who's going to win this game at the outset.
Norristown's a winner. Norristown by 3.
Mr. Fry, your prediction, please.
Prediction, Norristown victory 70-67.
Okay, I'll take Abington by at least 6. And I'm serious about that. I really think Abington has the better team, and that's not a knock on Norristown. I think it's just going to be tough for them to contend with the height, as we discussed in the pre-game show.
Okay, folks, ready for our starting lineups here for this evening's ball game.
Guess what? The Eagles are wearing that blue and white again, huh?
Strange how that happens every game, isn't it?
Incredible.
And as Alan mentioned, the Eagles will be in their home uniforms. That's the white with the blue numbers and lettering. Abington will be in their away maroon uniforms with the white lettering. Once again, the Eagles coached by John Cresswell, the Ghosts led by Jim Wilkinson. Of course, this game brought to you by the Norristown Area School District. Mr. Sam Galbraith is our producer and director tonight, and Mr. Kevin Wilkinson is doing our camera work. Seem to be going through a little bit of a delay here for the introductions. Now I think we're all set.
Well, they were the most unique type of introductions I've ever seen here.
They were great, weren't they?
I think it's because the mic died on the PA system, so they're just going to skip the whole procedure.
See what happens when you give it a build-up? You say, ladies and gentlemen, the introductions.
Well, you know, they had to cut back on the funds that go to repairing the mic here since I was showing up for tonight's game.
That's right. Well, we can give you those Norristown starters. Number 3, Binky Johnson will be the point guard for the Eagles. Number 4, Ken Cool, a junior, will be the shooting guard. Number 12, Vernon Hill will take the tap, and he'll play forward. Number 20, Jeff Thompson will be at forward. And number 24, Joel Jones will be your center. For the Abington Ghosts, number 43, Chris Parker will take the tap. Number 33, Jeff Hack will be at guard. Number 21, Steve Goldstein will be your other guard. And the Eagles win the tap. Binky Johnson controls for the Eagles. Eagles set up their half-court offense. Ken Cool looks down inside. Abington with an aggressive defense here. Looks like a box and one, Alan. Binky Johnson from the free throw line. It's good for the first 2 points of this ball game. Eagles up on top, 2-0, 7:29 to play in the first quarter. The other starters for the Abington Ghosts we'll give to you in just a moment. They look inside to Parker. Ball's picked off by number 20, Jeff Thompson, but he travels with the ball. Number 53, Jerome Comer, and number 23, Jim Kaiserman round out the starters. And that's Kaiserman from the baseline, good for 2. Already we've got the full court offense. Oh boy, the Eagles a little rattled there.
Ken Cole that time broke back toward the baseline where Binky Johnson thought he was going to be cutting down court.
And that time the Ghosts with full court pressure. Kaiserman for 3 off the far side of the rim, no good, but Comer gets the rebound and lays in the follow-up.
That's the type of thing the Eagles are going to have to worry about all night long. And, of course, now Abington surprisingly coming out with the half-court press. The Eagles breaking it. And we're going to have contact. And let's see, Vernon Hill going to be going to the line. Foul, I believe, is going to be on number 23, Jim Kaiserman.
Yeah, that time Ken Cool beat the pressure, and you can tell Norristown was ready for this full-court pressure. They've already got the offensive alignment to combat it.
Well, you've got to figure Norristown more or less expected it. Coach Cresswell realizes that people want to stop the transition game. How do you like that block?
What a play by Comer to go up, remain that balance, and save the ball from going out of bounds. Just an incredible play. 4-2 Ghosts, 6:30 to play in the first quarter. They look to the outside. It's up and good. Jeff Hack extends the Abington lead. Cool looks to get the ball in, and he does to Binky Johnson. Johnson will push the ball up court. Vernon Hill wide open. Off the glass, won't go. Rebound by Thompson. He goes up, no foul. It's a good block. Comer with the rebound.
Comer's a one-man rebounding crew at the moment.
I don't know why Jeff Thompson didn't just take that ball up strong. He did the old head fake, tried to get a foul, and he had the ball swatted.
I think it a little had to do with intimidation also.
6-2 Abington, they've got the ball. Oh, there's no doubting the fact that Abington is a fine ball club, and they do have a height advantage over the Eagles. Binky Johnson, a little aggressive there. Into the ball game, number 13, Jeff Karlitz, as Kaiserman takes a seat on the bench. I think the Eagles have got the early game jitters. I mean, they know this is their biggest game of the season so far. Really, their first true test, I think. Their first quality opponent. I mean, the first team they've had to play in the upper echelon in this area. Abington very patient with the ball. Inside to Comer, broken up nicely by Jeff Thompson. Thompson with a nice board.
I'll tell you, this is a key possession for Norristown. They're only down 6-2, and it's 3 minutes gone in the game, but they got to come up with a bucket here.
Beautiful play by Binky Johnson.
That was Binky Johnson playing 1-on-5 that time. An amazing play, how he dribbled through the trouble and got it off the glass.
And folks, don't forget, Binky Johnson, a sophomore, leading the Norristown offense. There's the outside shot, won't go. Oh, Parker just rips down the board. Sheer height did that for him. They go back to the same shot, off his screen by Comer. And that time, Steve Goldstein doesn't miss. 8-4. Still with the full court pressure, they get it up to Thompson. He's got to watch himself, he travels.
Jeff Thompson had no idea what to do in the open floor that time with the basketball, and that's what got him into trouble.
Jeff Thompson said more than three steps, and I don't want to touch the ball anymore.
I'll tell you, if you watch each time Abington comes down the floor, Chris Parker is no offensive threat. Let's dispel that thought. Yeah, but he just takes the ball and then he passes it out. They use him as the man to pump it in, and he more or less directs offense once he gets it.
That outside shot won't go. Binky Johnson, coast to coast. That looked like a foul to me there. Reach in, the hack on the arm, no call.
They're claiming Jerome Comer got all ball that time. But an aggressive play by Johnson driving in on the 6'6" Comer.
Yeah, Binky Johnson took that rebound and went coast to coast.
I mean, and Binky isn't exactly tall.
Well, you mentioned that Chris Parker, no offensive threat, but he happens to be 6'9", so he's certainly the big man in the middle for them. And Comer at 6'6", still taller than any other Norristown player.
And he looks impressive in goggles.
Oh, yeah, very nice. I believe they're the Yves Saint Laurent goggles.
You can see how they're all automatically double-teaming Kenny Cole every time he touches the ball, and the Eagles have only been able to get it in his hands a couple times in the first 4 minutes of this game.
Oh, he's way outside. Oh, he still makes it. Incredible. 23 feet.
Now, those three-pointers will get you into that game real quick. 8-7 now.
Ken said, fine, you won't give me the three-point line. I'll take it from 4 feet back, and I'll still make it. Incredible.
Well, Ken says he feels more comfortable shooting past that 20-foot line. And as long as he keeps making them, I think Coach Cresswell will feel comfortable too.
Travel, stutter step. That's the call all the officials like to make now. That first little step, they call it a travel.
Now notice, they back off on the press here. 8-7, Abington on top, and they give up on the press.
3:37 to play in the first quarter.
I think this is a big mistake. They were doing so well with the half-court pressure.
Maybe it's to give their guys a rest.
Well, that one's on. Oh.
There's a blocking foul, number 23, Jim Kaiserman.
I got to tell you, Binky Johnson got away with a good elbow to the jaw, but that's okay. Sometimes you miss those things.
Non-shooting foul. The Eagles will bring the ball in from the near sideline. We've got a substitution, number 15, Craig Cinnamon, into the ball game. And Goldstein will take a seat on the bench. They get the ball into Vernon Hill. He dishes off immediately to Binky Johnson. There's Cool from outside again. No, won't go. Vernon Hill right there for the rebound. Soft follow, won't go. And Parker rips down the board.
Vernon Hill that time tried to direct the ball into the hoop instead of giving that little extra touch.
We've got another substitution. Number 25 is into the ball game. That's Mike Cottom. Abington looking for the shot. They go inside to Parker. Won't go. Cool comes away with the steal. Kenny Cool, nice feed to Joel Jones.
That is the first time the Eagles have actually gotten out on the break tonight, and you can see how effective they are in the running game. And that's what Abington's got to keep them from doing. Norristown up here the first time in the ball game, 9-8, 2:40 to go.
Oh boy, alley-oop to Jerome Comer.
Pretty impressive, huh?
Wow. Nice play by Thompson. Cool. Shot won't go. Thompson with the board. Over the back that time. That time Jeff Thompson put an arm on somebody's back.
Came up over the back of Chris Parker, who had the position that time.
Cool pulled up that time. That time he was inside the three-point line. It went hard off the heel of the rim. I'll tell you that last play, though, Alan, that alley-oop pass to Comer, just beautiful. He just held his body up there and waited for the ball to arrive. Kaiserman's shot, way off, won't go. There's no reason for him to be taking that shot with that height advantage.
Yeah, you've got to force the ball inside. I don't quite understand this. They abandon the press, and then they take shots from outside.
Ken Cool for 3. Beautiful screen that time by Thompson.
6 of their 12 points now. Credit to Kenny Cool. 12-10 Eagles up with a minute 40 to go.
Oh, there it is. Vernon Hill with the steal. Kaiserman gets it back. He drives the lane. He's got to do something with it. Joel Jones blocks it. And he outlets to Binky Johnson.
That time I think Binky should have just slowed it down and pulled it up. Eagles really didn't have much of a break going.
Johnson had the ball swatted away, so the Eagles retain possession. Thompson almost travels. He drives the lane. Parker just swatted him. Kaiserman pulls up the easy jumper from the free throw line, and it's good. Nice controlled shot that time by Jim Kaiserman. 12-12. We're knotted with 1:12 to play in the first quarter. Johnson, oh, nice dish to Hill. It's good, and he's fouled.
Well, that's the type of game they've got to get out of Vernon Hill. Someone to take control, to be there under the board so they can dish it off to. And he drew the foul that time, too.
I'll tell you, in the last 3 minutes, Norristown has settled down appreciably. They are much calmer. Ken Cool is just like an Iceman out there. He doesn't show any signs of nerves.
Well, you drain those 3-pointers, too. I mean, 2 of those to 3 of their shots. It gets you right back into this ball game.
You better believe it. Hill with a chance to add to the Eagle lead here. They're up 14-12 with just over a minute to play in the first quarter.
And remember, if you missed the beginning of this game, Norristown was trailing 6-2.
Hill misses. Comer clears the boards.
They've got to start getting it inside to Comer. Taking these little 15-footers isn't the way that Abington's going to win.
Yeah, I have no idea why they're trying to shoot from the perimeter.
I mean, look, Comer wide open, and he misses it in Parker. Now it's just a tapping contest.
Wow. Oh boy. I can't believe they didn't call over the top. 4 shots.
Looks like the refs are going to let a little physical action go underneath the boards tonight. Good acting performance.
Ken Cool just stopped that Abington defender cold. Joel Jones over the top. Nice dish from Ken Cool. Eagles up by 4, 16-12.
Only 15 seconds to go here, setting up for the final shot. Comer just roaming the baseline, trying to get open.
Eagles have done a tremendous job keeping him out of the offense tonight. Incredible. With 5 seconds, in and out won't go, but he's fouled.
And that time he forced the shot. He was darn lucky to get it. Boy, John Cresswell kind of upset there on the Eagles bench at that call.
Alan, I think that last offensive possession by Abington is indicative of how this game has gone so far. They had 4 shots, couldn't get anything to fall, and you can see Chris Parker missed 2 easy layups off the glass. Comer missed 1, and then they missed the outside shot.
You know, having the height and having the rebounding advantage is good, but if you don't convert, it's not going to do you anything in the ballgame. Simple as that. And Abington, for the last 4 minutes of this opening quarter, has really been pathetic at tapping into easy convertible shots.
Comer misses both. Eagles come down with it. Out to Cool with 2, 1. There's the desperation shot. No good, and after 1 quarter, an impressive first quarter for the Norristown Eagles. They lead by 4, 16-12.
You know, Jeff, and I really think the turnaround point for Norristown, as you said, they came out with a little bit on the jittery side, especially with the pressure of such a big game. First place at the conference here, or at least a tie, part of it is up at stake here. But Norristown fell behind early 6-2, and then for some reason, Abington abandoned the press. And that is where they had really gotten the Eagles confused out there.
Abington hasn't slowed the ball down yet, but they're taking these outside shots that they just make no sense.
Why do you come into the Lions' den and play his game? I mean, you want the Eagles to win. You want to see them run the ball. And they're also, by running the ball, meaning Abington, they're negating their offensive height. Fine, they're going to get the rebounding to start the break. But when you've got a big dominant player like Comer, who only touched the ball at the end and at the beginning of the first quarter, what good is that?
A puzzling first quarter if you're a Ghosts fan. For the Eagles, you have to like the way the Eagles have controlled the tempo of the ball game and played with poise.
And now, for the audience's pleasure, we abandon Jeff Brandon. We bring you Walter Fry. It's tough to go this way, isn't it, Jeff?
It sure is.
Just another meaningful stat.
Another castaway. Another budding career nipped in the bud.
Norristown running the break off the missed shot by Hack. Biggie Johnson gets it to Joel Jones.
I'll tell you, Walt, my prediction of Abington winning by 6 or so, not exactly doing real well right now.
Coleman tries to drive inside, regains possession, banks it nicely. Johnson throws it up the floor to Hill. Nice dish. Jeff Thompson gets his first 2 points of the night.
Good ball movement that time by Norristown, and a lucky break when the Abington defender tipped it right into Thompson's hands.
And Abington calls timeout. 7:11 left to go in the first half. Norristown 20, Abington 14.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been a long time since we've heard a crowd in this gymnasium get that excited.
Well, they got something to be excited about. Not only are Binky Johnson and Ken Cool great passes for Norristown, but their big men really see the floor well. They really see what's going on. They find the open man.
I'll tell you, Joel Jones, from what I remember seeing him last year, has really improved tremendously this season. Still not much a major offensive threat, but he's at least now looking more for the ball, and he's playing some fine defense and doing some good board work.
Well, they've rewarded him by going to him a lot. He's really developed a nice touch.
That's the thing to remember about this Norristown team. It's still a young team. I mean, Ken Cool has the most experience. Your point guard is a sophomore, and an outstanding one at that. I see Chris Parker now taking a seat on the bench here. Number 45, Chris Coles is checked in at the center.
And Coles himself is 6'4".
I've got to think they've got to start pushing the ball inside to Jerome Colmer. It's almost as if they're forgetting to look for him here.
Well, they really don't have a three-point shooter. We haven't seen Cottom shoot the ball yet. There's Cottom now. He misses. Colmer, aggressive rebound. He missed again. Tapped around, Vernon Hill comes down with it. Now Binky Johnson looks. Cool, drives right. Dish inside the Hill, knocked away by Colmer. Off Norristown. What do you think of that call, Alan?
I couldn't see it. I was screened. I'm gonna beg off on commenting on that one.
I don't think Jeff agreed with that.
Jeff, bad call?
No comment.
Thank you. Boy, suddenly modest and humble.
Colmer
I'm already in
baseline.
enough trouble with the PIAA.
Kaiserman from the three. Kaiserman hits that one.
7 points now for Kaiserman, 6 for Jerome Colmer to lead Abington.
Cool, nice bounce pass inside to Vernon Hill. Hill takes it right up. He's fouled by Cottom.
Cottom that time thought he had position, but he was leaning on the balls of his feet, and he went backwards, and they called it. (22-17) here, Eagles. 5:52 to go in the half. I'm shocked that they're playing, not that they're playing this well, but that the game has taken the turn that it has since the first quarter.
It looks like Abington wasn't expecting Norristown to be this good. Hill off the heel of the rim with his foul shot.
I think the Eagles are 0 for 4 from the line tonight.
That's Kaiserman again. Goldstein misses. Caught him that time.
That's a tough call to make. Tough call.
Looked like Cottom came over the back of Thompson, got the ball, knocked it out.
But to tell you something, Norristown's going to run into trouble if the officials continue to let Abington bang inside like that. There are a lot of borderline fouls on a lot of times off the board.
Knocked away by Binky Johnson. Johnson pushing it up again. Now they get it back out to Johnson. Goldstein all over Kaiserman. Cool tried to go up in the lane with the left, blocked by Parker. Thompson from outside, banks the jumper.
He does not have the prettiest shot, but boy, did it go in.
Well, we haven't seen Thompson shoot much from the outside. In fact, none of the Norristown big men have shot much from the outside.
But when you have Ken Cool out there, I guess there's not too much room.
No, there's no need to. Kaiserman outside again, missed that one. Binky Johnson comes down with it. Brings it up himself. Jones in the lane. Hits just inside the foul line.
I'll tell you, I think Abington's going to have to call a timeout here. 26-17, and the Eagles are really just dominating all facets of this game.
Norristown pulling away.
Notice the change here. They put Jerome Como on the high post, and they're putting Parker down low.
Parker showed some good shot blocking ability. Not much offensively, though. Goldstein drives. Nowhere to go. Knocked away, and Thompson grabs it. Now Cool pushes. Cool right around Parker, in with the left. They called the touch foul on Kaiserman before the shot. Now into the game for Abington. Number 15, Craig Cinnamon. He replaces Jeff Hack. That foul was not before the shot. Cole will be shooting 2. Cool hits the first.
Ken Cole 7 points now. And finally, Abington taking a much-needed timeout.
Norristown now up by 10, 27-17. I had predicted to see some half-court offense, but mostly now we've seen Norristown running. Abington's running some.
So far in this ball game, Binky Johnson with 5 assists. Jerome Colmer 6 rebounds, but only 6 points to go along with it. Jeff Thompson already has 5 rebounds on the other end for Norristown. The Eagles are shooting 5 for 6 so far in the second quarter.
And Walt, I'd give anything to be over in the Abington huddle because I still don't understand this. They come out, they play well for 4 minutes of the first 4 minutes of this game, I should say. Using the press effectively, they stop Norristown from running. They abandon the press, they don't force the ball inside to Jerome Comer or to Parker, and they get into a running game what the Eagles excel at. I mean, I don't think you have to have a coach's degree to figure out it doesn't make much sense.
Well, Norristown will beat them at the running game, but Norristown just seems to have the 3 big men inside who can score, where Abington has only Coleman.
That's a good point. That's right, because Chris Parker is just, I mean, if you get 5 or 6 points out of Parker, you're lucky.
Pure defense. Meanwhile, Cool hits the second foul shot.
8 points now for Ken.
They tried to go inside the Parker. Johnson almost knocks it away. He's trapped. Nice job by Johnson and Jones. Thompson comes down with it. Cool from 3. Missed off the side. Abington ball.
Boy, that would have been a debilitating blow to Abington if he'd have sunk that one for 3.
28-17 with 3.5 to go in the first half. Who would have thought? I sure didn't.
The Eagles are playing with more poise than I ever would have given them credit for. I've seen them play some unsteady games this year. They've always come out on top, except for that Truman game, but they are playing a level above what I've ever seen them play.
And Abington has certainly been a thorn in the Eagles' side the past 3 or 4 years.
Well, Abington more experienced than the Eagles. Last year, Abington started 4 juniors and 1 senior. All those guys back. Here's... They get Parker for coming over the back of Thompson off the missed shot by Cinnamon.
Jeff Thompson is doing the job underneath. That's 6 rebounds for Thompson, and Parker's in trouble. His confidence is broken, and Jim Wilkinson very smartly has just taken him out of the game.
And now Parker will have a seat and be replaced by Cottom.
You know, if they're going to insist on running, and they being, of course, Abington, they're better off at having Comer play at center right now for Parker and pushing the ball up the floor because he can't run.
Thompson misses the first of the 1-on-1, but Hill comes down with the rebound. He's fouled once again by Cottom.
I'll tell you, the Eagles are up here by 11 points, and yet I believe they're only 2 for 8 at the free throw line here in this game.
Now Hill will shoot the 1-and-1.
A large Abington contingent here tonight, Walt, and I think they're all stunned.
.33, Jeff Hack replaces number 25, Mike Cottom. Hill misses the second, rebounded by Hack. Kaiserman calls time for Abington. With 3:01 left to play in the first half, it's 29-17 Norristown.
Walt Fry, of course, you realize the Eagles cheerleaders are out here sooner or later in this game. Maybe when we have time in the second half, you're going to have to reel off all these names because Jeff can't handle this anymore. He's getting old. He's lost touch with the school, with the tradition, and I can't rely on him. You know what it's like not being able to rely on Brandon.
I might add, you're even older and you've lost more touch with the school.
But I showed up tonight. You realize I abandoned the Pennsburys and the Chamonix. I showed up for the big one.
You showed up before the game started, a welcome change for you.
Oh, I'll tell you, it's a brutal corner here.
What do they call it? Fair weather friend, go with the winner, all those sorts of things?
A front runner, I think, is the...
Or that, yeah.
Tough room to play in.
Okay, Abington trying to get something going here. Norristown up by 12. Cinnamon hits the shot.
Here comes the press again, Walt, too.
Abington has to try and get something going. Nice job of breaking that. They throw it way up the court to Vernon Hill. Now Binky Johnson will set it up. Thompson into the lane, poked away. Good hustle by Colmer, but can't hang on, and Johnson brings it back out. Johnson pulls up over top of Kaiserman. Missed it, forced that one a little bit.
29-19, 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Eagles on top.
Kaiserman for three. He missed that. Thompson had the rebound, lost it. Joel Jones finally grabbed it.
I'll tell you, lately it seemed like there's one Eagle rebounder surrounded by a swarm of red, and yet he comes down with the ball.
Poole forces one, meanwhile.
Both teams getting a little sloppy here, Walt, in the transition game.
Goldstein looks inside to Colmer. Colmer spins by Joel Jones, missed it. Thompson regains
Walt, that time
possession for Norristown.
Sorry about that. That time they finally did what we had been saying they should have. And what happens? Colmer misses the easy gimme.
Well, they're double teaming Colmer, and Colmer just spun between Jones and Vernon Hill.
Today the Eagles have done a great job defensively here with their zone.
They looked inside the Hill that time. Hill went one way.
A minute 4 to go here. Abington down by 10. You've got to figure if they can go in trailing 6-8, it'll be a major morale boost for the Ghosts.
They're down by 10 right now. Cinnamon dribbles baseline, shoots. He's got it. Another 2 for Cinnamon. He's got 4.
Abington just a half-hearted press that time.
It's not very effective, but they get back nicely. Cool tried to go behind his back, stolen by Cinnamon. He drives on Johnson. Good play by Binky Johnson to strip the ball off the foot of Cinnamon. Norristown ball.
What a tremendous break for the Eagles there. Otherwise, they were looking at an Abington 6-point deficit. Abington, a 3-on-1 break, and it goes off his foot.
That time, Johnson just took quicker, took the ball away from Cinnamon.
Only 15 to go here in the first half.
Cool drives to Jones. Jones hits from the baseline. Norristown gets a lead back up to 10. 6 seconds left to go. Kaiserman dribbles up.
Oh.
changes his shot nicely. He scores. That's the end of the first half. So after one half of play, Norristown 31, Abington 23. We'll be right back with a summary of that first half in a moment.
At the half, the Eagles lead by 8 in a stunning first half of play for Norristown. Walt, the Eagles up 31-23, and they have flat outplayed the Ghosts. There's just no two ways about it. Norristown has been incredible. They have played with more poise and played with such composure under pressure. It's just been overwhelming. I think if you're Jim Wilkinson, you've got to say to your fellows in the locker room, guys, take it easy, work the ball inside, we can beat this team. And if you're John Cresswell, you say to the Eagles, hey, you played a great first half, come out and do it again in the second half. What did you see as the key to the Norristown success so far in this ball game?
Well, first of all, I think Norristown just outran Abington. The running game was better, and Abington couldn't seem to get anything going half court. That was because Norristown was denying them the ball, mainly Comer. That's their inside threat. They just weren't letting him get the ball.
I can't understand why a team with Jerome Comer, who's supposed to be a Division I hot prospect, he's 6'6", you've got a center who's 6'9", and you haven't worked the ball inside yet. They've taken more shots from the perimeter than anywhere else, and some pretty ill-advised shots. Jim Kajman must think he's Danny Ainge. He loads up for that three-pointer every time he gets his hands on the ball. I mean, don't mean to criticize the young fella, but you have to wonder why those perimeter shots are coming when you've got Comer, who's supposed to be so deadly inside.
Well, Abington only down by 8. You don't like to force anything, but Norristown is really doing everything they can to keep Comer from getting the ball. I think Abington has to make some sort of effort, even if they have to force it down inside the Comer.
I think it's been a pretty balanced attack for Norristown so far. I see 3 big keys, though. Binky Johnson's ability to handle the ball and to beat the press. He has been tremendous that way. Ken Cool has done a good job of getting himself open in key situations and hitting the big shot. And Jeff Thompson has been tremendous on the boards. Thompson has 6 or 7 rebounds already in this ball game. He's out rebounding both Parker and Comer, and he is playing like a man inspired. I give him a lot of credit so far in this ball game.
Well, Thompson has been the rebounder for Norristown. Jones and Hill a little bit more involved in the offense. But Thompson, as you said, has been doing a great job rebounding. Even he's smaller than Comer or Parker, but he's got the position and they can't get over him.
And so far in this ball game, Joel Jones with 10 points off of some nice feeds from Binky Johnson and Ken Cool. Cool with 7 so far in this ball game. Binky's got 4. Thompson only has 4 points, as Walt mentioned, but he's been a big defensive threat. And Vernon Hill with 5 points. No substitutions for John Cresswell. Nobody but that starting 5. And I think that's perhaps the first time we've seen that so far this year.
Well, even though they could be tired, you don't want to admit it in a game like this. You're running on adrenaline that even overcomes some of your fatigue.
And I think the fact that there haven't been any substitutions says that these 5 guys have played pretty darn well. Because the times when John Cresswell has removed guys from the game, it's been because they haven't been hot or they haven't had the composure. And that hasn't been true of anybody here tonight for the Norristown Eagles. They've played extremely well. And for Abington, Jerome Comer, he leads them into, he's second in scoring. He's got 6 points. Jim Kajman with 10 points. And Steve Goldstein, Jeff Hack, 2 apiece. Craig Cinnamon with 4. And those 4 came late in that second quarter of play.
Cinnamon's really been the only man with a consistent jumper from outside for Abington. Kajman, as you said, is loading up, but he hit a couple of three-pointers, but can't seem to find the range consistently.
And in the battle of the boards, we've just been told that Norristown finished that first half with 16 rebounds to Abington's 15. So the Eagles doing a fine job inside, getting position and bringing down the big rebounds.
They've gotten everybody into the rebounding game, as opposed to really only 2 for Abington.
I think we're going to definitely see Abington go down low here in the second half. They've got to do something to get some points and close this gap quickly so that they can break some of that Norristown confidence, because the Eagles are playing on a big high right now. They can do no wrong. In that second quarter, they shot the lights out and to open up that 8-point advantage over Abington.
Definitely.
Walt and I will be back in just a moment along with Alan Raleigh for this second half of play. Folks, stay tuned. It should be a barn burner here in the second half.
Okay, we're just about ready for second half action here. Norristown leading 31-23. A couple of quick stats for you here. For Abington, Jerome Comer, 15 minutes of play, 6.7 rebounds. He's the top rebounder for Abington. Top point scorer for the Ghost, Jim Kaiserman. 9 points, 3 of those points coming on the three-point land. For Norristown, let's run down everybody here. Jeff Jones with 10 points and 3 boards. Jeff Thompson, 4 points, but as Jeff told you, 7 rebounds for Jeff Thompson. Kenny Cool, 8 points, including 2 3-pointers. Binky Johnson, just 4 points, but 3 boards. And also, let's see, throw in there 5 assists. By the way, Kenny Cool also with 4 assists. And finally, Vernon Hill, 5 points, 3 rebounds. And that's right, folks, Norristown playing just 5 in the first half. We're ready to go, 31-23. We'll set you the starting lineups in a minute. Abington, of course, in the red. Kaiserman with the ball, elects not to take the three-pointer. And Abington going down low that time and using Jerome Colmer. You don't think it was by design, Jeff, that they purposely went down low to Colmer?
Oh, no, I don't think so. It's just because they didn't do it the entire first half when they should have been. Oh, Kenny Cool.
Kenny Cool that time bounces the pass right into an Abington player's hands. Norristown getting a break, though. Cool knocking it out of bounds.
The Eagles have to retain their composure. They don't want to let Abington climb back in right away. They can't let it be too easy to get back into this ball game.
And you notice, Jeff, of course, Abington immediately coming out here with the press that time on the first Eagles possession.
Well, they did exactly what I thought they had to do, and that's go to Colmer down low, and he did the job this time.
In the first 2 minutes, I think, of any quarter, this is the biggie. Colmer once again getting the ball, but he loses it. We're going to have a jump ball here. And it's going to go Norristown's way.
Yeah, on the arrow, the possession will go towards the Eagles. Norristown's got to just remain calm and do what they did in the first half. Beat the press nicely, come up and take the good shot.
Exactly. Joel Jones gets it. He's double teamed, but he gets it over to Binky Johnson around his back. Johnson still not over that timeline. He loses it off of Colmer's foot, who recovers it in the corner. Eagles falling apart here in the opening minute of this third quarter. And a nice, easy 4-footer there by number 23, Jim Kaiser. And now we're looking at a 4-point Eagles edge, 31-27. Eagles have to do something here to break the press.
That's going to be a blocking foul on Goldstein. Of course, that's a non-shooting foul.
This is reminiscent of how the Eagles played the first 3 or 4 minutes of this ball game when they fell down early by 4 or 5.
Yeah, perhaps they just have to get into the flow of the ball game again. They were playing so well when that first half ended.
Kenny Cool has it. He's immediately double teamed, gets it back out to Binky Johnson. Johnson, number 3, Cool, number 4. Number 12, Vernon Hill, recovering the ball that time. Number 24, Joel Jones, and number 20, Jeff Thompson. And Binky Johnson that time takes matters in his own hand, drives the lane, and gets Norristown's first points of the second half. 6 on the ball game for Johnson.
Can you tell me why Chris Parker didn't go up to block that shot?
Oh, just because he has a 9-inch height advantage? I don't know why. He's a very laid back. He's not a real aggressive player despite the height.
Cinnamon.
I'll tell you, he had 2 long-range jumpers in the first half, and he's hot here in the second. Abington relaxing the press a little bit this time up the floor, but Norristown still having some problems. Finally, Kenny Cool, the home run ball, he gets it up to Thompson. He dumps it off now to Binky Johnson. Johnson, the right side of the key. Hill and Thompson, a lot of lack of communication there. Thompson takes a shot, it's off. Abington coming up with it.
Yeah, Thompson can't let that missed shot deter his confidence here in that second half. He played so well earlier, especially underneath.
Exactly. Well, Joe Jones saying it should have been a push-off on Colmer, but they're calling it the opposite way. Push on Jones?
Yeah, Joel Jones, I believe. If you look at Ken Cool's numbers, only 7 points in this ball game, shows that Abington has done a good job at denying him the ball tonight. They're double-teaming him at every opportunity.
3-point range, no good by Kaiserman. Hill taking it strong to the hole. Parker misses the block shot attempt, and Hill gets the board.
Way to use the body to shield the ball that time, not allowing Chris Parker in for the block. Leads back up to 6 points. I don't know what Kaiserman was thinking there. He rifled that ball, almost went through the door into the parking lot.
Eagles barely got it in the allotted 5 seconds. Goes out now on Kaiserman, but good hustle. Norristown continually having problems here with this press.
And now they're relaxing again. I don't understand that. I guess because you bring the ball in from halfway up.
Exactly. Don't want to get caught short down low. Hill this time gives it to Kenny Cool. Cool looking to create.
Oh, Ken Cool just can't get open. They're all over him.
I can't imagine why. Just because he's their leading scorer, averaging a little over 20 a game.
And that time he makes Goldstein pay for it, takes it right at him, and the blocking foul is called. And this bodes well for Norristown because it'll put Abington into the penalty much sooner. Very few fouls in this game.
But you know, if Norristown shoots the way they did in the first half from the free throw line, they'll really be in trouble.
Well, if it's anybody but Cool and Johnson at the line, you have to wonder a little bit. The other fellows are a little bit suspect from the free throw line.
2 for 8 in the first half for Norristown from the line.
4:29 to play in the third quarter.
Shot partially blocked that time by Kaiserman. Johnson returns to favor, takes it to the hole. He misses it. Ken Cool with the follow.
Looked like a layup drill that time.
Sure did. Looks like what they go through the pregame rituals.
And that's a heads-up play by Cool to realize that Binky Johnson doesn't have a gimme there. He comes and waits for that follow. Heads-up play.
Once again now, Norristown up 37-29. Short little tough turnaround by Parker. Nothing but air.
Parker just didn't know where he was on the floor.
And it doesn't hurt that he's a bricklayer when it comes to being a shooter. Around the rim, no good by Hill, but I'll tell you, once again, Thompson being a bull underneath the boards there.
Jim Wilkinson's got to get Chris Parker out of the game.
He slows them down. They can't run with Parker in there, and if he's not going to do an effective job off the boards, it really negates having his presence out there.
Cinnamon and Kaiserman take seats on the bench. And number 13, Jeff Karlitz, enters the ball game, along with number 33, Jeff Hack.
Thompson now 1 for 1 from the line tonight.
Eagles slowly but surely building that lead back up again.
Tell you, Abington came out and did what they wanted to do. They cut the lead down to 4 points. We're using the press, but now Norristown, as you said, they're back up here by 10, 39-29, 3:50 to go in the third quarter. A much lower scoring affair than I expected tonight too, Jeff. I really thought these teams would end up in the 60s or maybe even the 70s. Ball loose on the floor finally. Binky Johnson coming up with it again.
I think we still might see the 60s, but I think the tempo favors Norristown.
Line drive, three-point attempt that time by Kenny Cool off the mark. Abington patiently trying to work the ball inside. They get it to Comer and 3 Eagles around him. He still forces the shot.
Joel Jones had a nice block that time.
Shot that time by Goldstein, no good. The ball loose, right in the hands of Kenny Cool. The Eagles are really having the breaks tonight under the boards.
I'm telling you, with all that height they have, Abington still can't clear the boards. And Comer can't make a layup.
Oh, they're calling it on. Was that against? Yeah, that was against Binky Johnson that time.
Well, that's hard to believe.
Yeah, I thought the contact was made by Goldstein, who's the defender. Abington still making massive substitutions throughout this ball game. Norristown going the way with their starting 5.
Kaiserman back into the ball game. Goldstein takes a seat on the bench.
Karlitz with the ball now. He goes back to Kaiserman. They swing it to Cinnamon. Karlitz off the mark, right in the hands of Joel Jones. 39-29, 2.5 to go in this third quarter. Kenny Cool's been quiet here tonight, only 7 points, but the Eagles have been lucky. They haven't needed his offense as much this evening. They're getting it from other players. Joel Jones especially.
And now the Eagles are going through a little bit of a cold spell here. They can't get it to fall for them either.
Hey, as long as they keep the screws on defensively, that's what's got them in this game with the 10-point lead. Comer taking it strong once for the hoop.
Now that was a nice pass that time by Kaiserman.
10 points for Comer now. Kenny Cool, the side court trap. He breaks it, gets out to Binky Johnson, who crosses the midcourt line. Johnson directing traffic out there.
Can't say enough about Binky Johnson. He has run this game for the Eagles tonight. Oh, beautiful.
Ball down.
Oh! Wow.
A little drama there. Yeah, he planned it that way.
That ball circled the hoop about a dozen times before it finally fell through. It looked like it was going to come out.
It's the prettiest 2 points you're going to see tonight.
But Jeff Thompson gets the break. It goes, and he's on the line for the three-point play.
Jeff Thompson now 8 points here this evening, matching the number of rebounds he has.
Vernon Hill with a tough foul there. Scrambling for that rebound. He grabbed Parker. Good call by the officials.
By the way, this guy right here, Jim Kaiserman with the ball. Remember Harry Litwick, the great Temple coach?
Sure.
Kaiserman's his nephew. That's your trivia for the night. Thank you. You see, I'm coming here to educate you. 41-31, minute 20 to go here in the third. Mike Cotton back in there for Abington, number 25. Harlots with it right now, nowhere to go. Abington just can't find the passing lanes. They're all cut off by the Eagles defenders tonight.
Kaiserman gets a break that time, rolls around and falls for him.
13 points now for Kaiserman, their leading scorer.
Eagles still up by 8. They've got to get the ball up, and they do. Nice play by Johnson.
That time Vernon Hill a little tentative. He didn't know whether he wanted to drive or to wait for his teammates to come up the floor with him.
And he just turned the ball over.
41-33, 40 seconds to go here. Crucial possession for Abington, depending on what they'll be down going into this fourth quarter. They elect to put it up. Cotton misses. Eagles now having a chance to go back up by 10 to end this third. Kenny Cool with the ball. Cool launches it, a three. His third three-pointer of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. Kenny Cool now with, let's see, make that 13 points in this game.
Abington relaxed the defense on Cool for a split second, and Cool saw it, took the open shot.
Kaiserman thinking about a three-pointer. Instead, he drives, dumps it back out to Cotton. 15-footer, no good. Bounces right back into his hands. 4 seconds to go here, and we're going to have a foul. Looks like Cotton's going to go to the line with 3 seconds.
That's a good foul. You hammer the guy, make sure he doesn't make the basket, put him at the line. He hasn't been in too much tonight.
Let him earn the points rather than giving him the chance at a three-point play.
That's right. With an 11-point lead, the Eagles are doing exactly what they need to do. They've stayed calm, beaten the press nicely, and their shooting has not gone south.
I'll tell you, with this type of lead, I wouldn't be surprised if Abington abandoned the box and won in the zone. They've been playing most of this game and came out man-to-man in the fourth. Cotton nails the first, 44-34. Cotton's first tally of the evening. Oh, misses it. Abington with the rebound, though. Comer is going to be... That's it. They call it a jump, but the buzzer sounds, so that's the way it ends. 44-34, Norristown.
That could have been a clutch play by Comer. He got position on the board. Looked like he was going to go up for the layup. Failed to convert on it. And with 8 minutes to play in this ball game, the Eagles have extended their lead over that margin they had at the end of the first half. It's now 11 points, 10 points, 44-34. And Walt, it's been a heck of a ball game. If you're a Norristown fan, you have to love the way the Eagles have played here tonight. In our JV contest tonight, the Eagles came out on top 62-60 in a game that went down to the wire. And I'll tell you what, Eagles might be up by 10, but 8 minutes is a long time, and especially when you're the Abington Ghosts, undefeated Suburban 1 League play. If the Eagles win this ball game, it'll put them into a tie for first place in Suburban 1 League National Division Colonial. And don't forget, the Eagles will still have to go to play the Abington Ghosts on the Ghosts floor later in this year.
Okay, Norristown starts with same 5 that started. No substitutions yet in this game. They go inside to Cotton on Jones. He traveled. And now Abington has to make every possession count. They can't turn the ball over carelessly like that.
Absolutely. And they go back to the full court pressure.
Cool, finds Thompson. He picks up, and they'll get it to Binky Johnson.
Nice leap by Thompson to keep that ball from flying out of bounds. Nice play that time by Carlitz to knock the ball out of bounds. The Eagles will have the ball from the near sideline. And Alan, you're right, they are in a man-to-man defense. Johnson goes up top, won't go, tapped by Vernon Hill.
Great job there by Vernon Hill once again. There's too many men inside for Norristown, for Abington to handle.
Vernon Hill with 9 points.
Kaiserman for 3, he missed. Tapped around and caught him. He tried to get it to Colmer, overthrew him.
Well, Jerome Colmer has never been in this ball game. He has never gotten into the flow.
Binky Johnson, they called a 5-second violation. Couldn't find anyone to get it into. Good man-to-man coverage by Abington. Up top to Carlitz. They go inside to Colmer now. He drives on Jones. Can't get it to fall. Johnson and Kaiserman wrestle for it. The foul on Kaiserman.
And that's a big call. Norristown will go to the line. Abington is over the limit. Johnson, an excellent foul shooter.
Just an aggressive foul that time by Kaiserman. He's just trying to make something happen.
With 6:57 to play, Binky Johnson will shoot 1 and 1.
Johnson makes the first.
I'd like to remind you folks, this game brought to you by the Norristown Area School District. Mr. Sam Galbraith, our producer and director tonight. Kevin Wilkinson doing the camera chores.
Johnson's second free throw puts Norristown up by 14 points.
Their biggest lead of the ball game.
They tried to go inside to Colmer. Thompson slapped it out. Johnson came up with it, and he's got it again.
Abington just has a ton of turnovers tonight. They can't hold on to the ball.
Almost a steal by Kaiserman. Johnson right around him. Good dish to Vernon Hill. They wave it off. They got the foul on Binky Johnson. I think they said he pushed off there as he drove around Kaiserman.
Yeah, Binky Johnson was just livid. He couldn't believe that call. John Cresswell told him, settle down. The last thing you want is a technical foul. This is not the time to lose your composure. Johnson definitely didn't like the call, but he's got to regain himself and get back into the ball game.
So Norristown also over the limit. Kaiserman will shoot the 1 and 1. And he hits the first. Jeff Hack will come back into the ball game for Carlitz. The second is good.
Kaiserman now with 15 points in the ball game.
And a very good job at the point. Johnson breaks it right through Hack and Colmer to Vernon Hill. He goes up hard. He is hacked by Hack. Just came out like that. It wasn't playing.
Boo! Norristown up by 12. 48-36 with 6:27 to play. And all of a sudden this game has gotten very slow. A lot of fouls, a lot of turnovers.
We'll have 2. He's fouling the act of shooting. Rolls the first one in.
And all of a sudden Norristown looking very good from the free throw line.
The second spills out. Binky Johnson crashing boards. Loses control over the end line. Abington ball.
Johnson almost came up with a clutch play there, Walt. Ducked inside of Jerome Comer, almost came away with it.
Johnson got around the outside. Nobody checked him off the boards. He just squeezed in on the baseline. Just not enough room for him. Kaiserman fakes three. Johnson up in the air. Now Goldstein drives. Down the lane. A little bit of English off the glass. He gets it.
I don't know where that play came from. Goldstein hasn't been in the offense.
Cottom goes high to steal. Kaiserman back to Cottom. Cottom tries to save, but it's off him.
And had Abington converted that time, Walt, it could have been a play to turn the momentum to their side. A big steal that time after the nice layup by Goldstein, but they fail.
Well, Norristown's up by 11. It's always good for your confidence to get back within 9 or under double figures.
Goldstein that time was all over Ken Cool. He was trying to catch up. Cool slowed down. And he just ran over him. This is the guy you want at the line for Norristown. Ken Cool's got 13 points so far tonight. Binky Johnson 8. Joel Jones has not scored in the second half. He's still got 10. Vernon Hill's got 10. Jeff Thompson with 8.
After Cool's first foul shot, Abington calls timeout. Norristown up by 12 with 5:55 to play in the game.
And since Norristown opened up the advantage to 10 points early in the second quarter, they've only let Abington back close once or twice. Eagles doing a fine job of maintaining the lead. Nice balanced scoring attack. We'll say it again, they've only used the same 5 players. That could be a factor. The Eagles have not played their starting 5 throughout an entire ball game this year, I believe. Could be fatigue as we get down to the wire, but I guess you're right. In a game like this, there is no fatigue. You play till the game is over. Then you worry about how tired you might be. (50-38), 5:55 to play.
Cool's second foul shot gives Norristown a 13-point lead now. Goldstein drives again, dishes to Comer.
The Eagles did the right thing that time. After Comer got inside, they just let him have the basket. You don't want to foul, give the 3-point play.
Johnson that time traveled with the ball. Good job by Kaiserman to block him off. And Abington has a chance to cut the lead under double figures. Kaiserman for 3. Missed that. Comer with position and the rebound. Gets the basket, cuts the lead to 9. Comer with the steal. Goldstein goes up. That falls. Now Abington within 7. Cottom almost stole at that time.
And Walt, Abington scored 6 points in 14 seconds. Norristown has got to settle down. If I were John Questwell, I might call time here.
Now Cool gets it into Jeff Thompson. Thompson right into the hands of Comer. No basket. They got the foul though.
And now the Abington fans, for the first time in this ballgame, have come alive, Walt. Their team finally has life after the Eagles had shut them out for well over 2 quarters.
Comer at the line, shooting a big 1-and-1. No, he's shooting 2 and he hits the first.
And we've got a playoff-sized crowd here tonight, almost filled to capacity at the Norristown Area High School Gymnasium.
Comer very short on the second. They get out to Cool. Cool loses control. It's picked up by Vernon Hill. Now Binky Johnson will try and slow it up. He drives the lane, turns, looks to Hill. Hill with a nice back layup.
What a big basket for Vernon Hill. Nice play down low. Good feed.
The play made that time by Binky Johnson. Goldstein drives, tries to reverse. They got him for pushing off.
That's a tough break for Abington. 8-point lead for the Eagles.
Cool inbounds to Thompson. Thompson finds Binky Johnson.
Jerome Colmer with 5 points so far in this fourth quarter. They've finally gotten the ball to their leading scorer.
Cool gets around Goldstein, but nowhere to go. He's cut off by Colmer. Johnson around Goldstein. Excuse me, Kaiserman. Hill misses the rebound. Fouls on Thompson. Cinnamon replaces Cottom. Cinnamon's really added some spice to the Abington offense tonight.
Oh, jeez.
I've been planning that one for the whole game now.
You know, you've just defamed a fantastic high school basketball game with perhaps the worst pun I've ever heard in my life. Thompson only 1 for 4 from the line tonight.
He hits that one. Norristown lead back up to 9.
Every time Abington scraps close, the Eagles seem to get an insurance basket.
Thompson a little bit heavy on the second. Vernon Hill at the rebound. He's short. And Kaiser comes away with it.
Tough play. Hill with the big rebound, then misses the soft jumper from in close.
Kaiserman for 3. Missed it. Colmer with the rebound. Fouls on Thompson.
Probably not a bad foul. Colmer was definitely going to go up strong with that ball. Here you got to make him go from the stripe to get his shots to the free throw line.
.409 left, and right now Abington is within 9, 54-45.
This is the longest 8 minutes these Norristown kids have played all year.
Colmer misses the first of the 1-and-1. Jones with a big rebound.
Nice play by Joel Jones to maintain his position and rip that ball down.
Poole for 3. No good. Cinnamon with the rebound. Kaiserman around Johnson. Johnson may have gotten a piece of that from behind. Johnson breaks away from the pack. Right on in on Goldstein. A little bit heavy, but Hill with the rebound. Fouled by Kaiserman, trying to block from behind.
Binky Johnson went flying in from the right side. The layup went strong off the glass. The Eagles were there for the rebound, and that's where the foul occurred. Vernon Hill shooting 2. Oh, what a big shot. Everything's important now with only 3:37 to play.
Hill misses a second. Colmer grabs the rebound. Kaiserman calls time for Abington. Norristown lead 10, 55-45 with 3:31 left to play.
Well, every time it looks like Abington has finally broken Norristown down and they're going to get back into this ball game, the Eagles come up with a big play. You have to be impressed with the way they've maintained their cool in this ball game. They have not let Abington intimidate them into a bad ball game.
Abington put on a little run with about three consecutive Norristown turnovers right in a row. Norristown settled down after their timeout, and now they've regained control of the game, and Abington doesn't have much time to make up this deficit.
I think it's going to come down to the free throw line as this game gets closer to being over. Norristown only shooting about 50% from the line. The guys the Eagles want there are Binky Johnson and Ken Cool. If you're Jim Wilkinson, you want to see the big guys for Norristown at the line. Hill, Jones, and Thompson.
And now you'll probably see Binky Johnson handling the ball most of the time. So he has fewer turnovers. There he is with a steal. And they get the foul on Hack, a little frustration foul after Johnson stealed.
And Johnson with a very alert play right in there, and Hack just reached his hand and grabbed Binky on the wrist. Don't forget, folks, this is a very young Norristown squad playing a very mature ball game. Only one senior out there, that's Vernon Hill. Have a little confusion here as Cinnamon takes his seat and Carlet's back into the ball game.
And Abington right now with all seniors on the floor except for number 13, Jeff Carlitz. So Norristown playing a much... Johnson missed the shot. Jones had the rebound but lost it. Now Abington comes away with it. Goldstein for three. He's short. Comer with the big rebound. Gets it to fall and the foul on Joel Jones.
Comer was just in the right place at the right time. He didn't really have position on the ball, but it just kicked right out to him.
Well, now Comer's really starting to exert himself on the boards. Norristown's not letting him get the ball, but he's getting it himself.
Comer now with 17 points in the ball game. And Jim Kaiserman with 15.
Comer grabs his own rebound. Layup is good. 55-49. Abington, excuse me, Norristown with the lead. 3 minutes to play. Johnson breaks out of the press. They got the foul right there. Abington trying to trap aggressively. Johnson broke it.
Jerome Comer turned what could have been a disastrous play into a big play for the Ghosts. Misses a free throw for what could have been a three-pointer. Follows up, as you said, and made it a 4-point play as he dished off the glass. Comer only 1 for 5 from the free throw line, even though he's shooting well from the field here in the fourth quarter.
Johnson missed it. Comer, nice save. Had
What
the
a
ball.
play. The Eagles
Mishandled it when he tried to bring it down, but a nice save.
The Eagles have got to take their time at the free throw line.
Goldstein inside to Comer. Foul on Jones. Jones got him from behind.
No basket. We're going to have our first substitution of the night. Priest Ramsey, number 31, is coming into the ball game for number 24, Joel Jones. We don't keep foul statistics here, folks. Joel Jones may have fouled out. I don't think so.
Well, that's what I thought was going to be one of Norristown's problems tonight. The big men of Abington getting them in foul trouble. Comer hits the first of the 1-and-1. 55-50. Comer can cut it to within 4.
And this is the closest they've been in about 10 minutes.
Comer hits the second.
And now it's anybody's ball game, Walt. A 4-point lead for the Eagles with 2:30 to play. Now what's allowed Abington to get back into this ball game is poor free throw shooting.
Cool. Drove around Goldstein but missed. Norristown came up with the ball. Ramsey had it out to Thompson, and now Johnson's got the ball in his hands.
Eagles need a hoop here. Somebody's got to take control and put one through.
Cool, Goldstein all over him again. Goldstein falls. Cool is stripped but fouled.
Ken Cool wants the ball. Jerome Comer gets called for the foul. Ken Cool does not want anybody else on the floor to take that shot. He says, give it to me, I want it, I'll take charge.
They've got Goldstein all over Cool. Right in his face, not getting the jumper, but Cool's going around him.
1-and-1. Oh.
And Cool hit the first.
The last two Eagle attempts at 1-and-1 situations, they failed to convert on the first shot. Kenny Cool breaks that string.
And the second. Norristown lead is back up to 6.
2 minutes even.
Goldstein drives baseline, pulls up. Pulled the string on that one. Comer battles for it. Comer with a nice touch inside. He's got 21 points.
Jerome
now
Comer.
57-53 Norristown. Cool up the baseline. Past Carlitz. Cool pulls up. Dished off to Thompson. Thompson missed. Priest Ramsey with the big rebound. And the foul on Abington.
Jerome Comer has 14 points in the fourth quarter.
Now,
24 points for the game. And Walt Abington has outscored Norristown here over the last 4 minutes, 18-6, to bring themselves right back into this game.
Priest Ramsey missed the 1-and-1. Abington can come within a bucket. Carlitz from way outside. He missed. Goldstein with the long rebound. Knocked out by Binky Johnson. Johnson wanted the ball to go Norristown's way.
That was a tough call. I thought that was Norristown ball, Walt.
Goldstein inside the Comer. He's double teamed and it's knocked away by Vernon Hill. Kaiserman tries to steal. Cool into Comer. They got the blocking foul on Comer.
Boy, there was about a half a second where nobody in this place breathed, waiting for the official to make that call. Comer for the block. That was a tough call for the official to make.
Cool does that well. He wants the ball. He knows that any foul, Norristown will be shooting the 1-on-1, and he goes right at the man.
Somebody's going to have to explain to me why Carlitz took a 24-foot three-point attempt when his team was only down by 4 points.
It was open.
Cool comes out with a big shot. 58-53 Norristown. 1:11 left to play. Oh, Cool missed the second. Kaiserman calls timeout for Abington.
1:06 to play. It's a 5-point Eagle lead. Jerome Comer in this ball game has so far accumulated 10 defensive boards, 8 off the offensive boards, 23 points. Abington has finally done what they needed to do, and that's go to Jerome Comer. He's come through for them so far in this fourth quarter. For Norristown, a balanced attack. Ken Cool with 18 points, Binky Johnson with 8, the only Eagle not in double figures. Joel Jones 10, Jeff Thompson 11, and Vernon Hill 11. Of course, Priest Ramsey not into double figures. He's not into the scoring yet. He just entered the ball game. The first Eagle substitution occurring just a minute ago, and we've only got 1:06 to play.
Kaiserman for three. He's got it. Kaiserman about a 21-footer. He hit it to pull Abington within 2. Cool pulls it up. Gets it to Johnson. Norristown breaks the press nicely. Cool around Comer. Banks it with the left hand. 60-56 Norristown. 35 seconds left to play. Goldstein. Now Kaiserman. To Hack. Carlitz with a 3. He missed. Comer runs a rebound down. Kaiserman comes out with it. Drives the lane. Too heavy. There's a scramble. Cool comes out with the ball. 12, 11. Cool is fouled with 10 seconds left to play. Norristown up by 4.
10 seconds to play in this ball game. The Eagles up by 4. The Norristown fans are standing and cheering. And they've got their leading scorer at the line, their best free throw shooter. Once again, why was Carlin shooting the ball? You have Kaiserman, your leading guard, the man from outside. Kaiserman is now fouled out of the ball game.
So Norristown with no men on the foul line. No men around the foul. Cool, missed the first. Almost ran it down. Steal by Pinky Johnson. That should do it. Loses the ball with 5 seconds left to play.
Ball game's not over.
Abington down by 4 with 5 seconds left. Goldstein runs it up. Fires it up. No good. That's the ball game. Norristown 60. Abington 56.
What a win for the Norristown Eagles.
Norristown fans celebrates. Toilet paper out on the field.
Tremendous win for Norristown. Folks, we'll be back in just a moment with a wrap-up of this exciting, tremendous ball game.
Well, there you have it, a Norristown victory here at Norristown's home court, 60-56, the final count. And Jeff, what can you say? We saw two different ball games here for 3.5 quarters. We saw the Norristown Eagles coasting to a very comfortable and easy win. In fact, with a little over 5.5 minutes to play, Norristown up here 51-38. We then watched Abington reel off 18 of the next 24 points.
Wow.
They cut it down to a 4-point game, 57-53 with 1:11 to go. Ken Cool then comes through as he has all season in the clutch. 5 consecutive buckets. Norristown hangs on defensively to post this tough victory. I'll tell you, from a purist sense, this was an ugly, ugly basketball game. From a fan sense, you know, no one's going to remember for 3 quarters of action here. They're going to remember the last 5.5 minutes.
Well, I think it was inevitable, Al, that Abington bring themselves back into this ball game. Norristown players, they played the whole ball game. It had to be fatigue out there on the Norristown side. Those 5 guys played a tremendous game. Abington's just too good a team to lay low the entire ball game, and Jim Wilkinson is too good a coach to let his guys do that. I think they did a tremendous job, and especially Jerome Colmer. You have to give him plenty of credit for that fourth quarter he had. Really brought his team back into the game. They finally went down low to Jerome Colmer. They should have done it in the first half. If they had, they would have won the ball game.
Exactly. Jerome Colmer finished the night with 23 points, 14 of them in the fourth quarter, and get this, he had 20 rebounds, 10 each on the offensive and defensive boards. I mean, that's pretty impressive numbers supposed to any ball game at any level.
Yeah, in that first half, Jeff Thompson and Joel Jones and Vernon Hill did a good job inside. They took Chris Parker, their 6'9" center, out of the ball game. Jerome Colmer really couldn't do too much underneath. And I'll tell you what, I think Jim Wilkinson's best move was getting Parker out of the ball game.
Exactly.
Freed up the inside for Jerome Colmer. He could roam underneath. He wasn't banging into his own guy. Parker just couldn't get on track tonight. He was turning the ball over, couldn't make anything from the field. He was more a detriment than he was a benefit to the Ghosts. They took him out, and Colmer then had free reign.
Exactly, because when Parker was in there, as we saw throughout the first half, Jerome Colmer just simply roamed the back line. That's all he did. He had nothing to do out there in the flow of the offense. I'll tell you, for Norristown, though, tonight, I think there's one thing that's obvious. Both teams, actually, but Norristown especially, was pathetic from the free throw line. Unfortunately, we don't have the final free throw shooting statistics right here, but Norristown, I mean, they were awful. There is no way. Only Ken Cool was even effective at the line tonight, and Ken Cool is not your best free throw shooter as far as form goes here for the Norristown team. Why does it seem that every year they have this problem?
Well, I don't know if it's endemic to Norristown or what the problem is, but tonight you're very right that they did have a problem from the free throw line. And in fact, had they been able to convert on those 1-and-1s, hit the front end there of a few down the stretch, this game wouldn't have been close at all. It would have been no contest. Norristown would have coasted to a 10-point victory. They missed those shots, and Abington took advantage. They cleared the boards, brought the ball back down, and converted on the other end. And that was primarily due to Jerome Colmer. He didn't let Norristown get any second opportunities off those missed free throws. Why the Eagles shoot that poorly from the line, I don't know. It's something that they could definitely work on.
Yeah, well, like Bill Werkheiser used to say, it's just a matter of repetition. I have a feeling that they're going to be doing a lot of that next week at practice. I'll tell you 2 other quick things I wanted to touch on before we looked at the final stats. Abington's use of the press here tonight. When they used it, first 4 minutes of the ball game, they jumped out to an early 6-2 lead. They stopped. Norristown crept back, and they took the big halftime lead. They come into the third quarter. At the end of the third, They started going to it again. They cut their deficit down to single digits. Then, of course, they had to go to the man-to-man to really get back into this contest. But I'm kind of surprised, as you probably are, why they didn't use it more effectively in the first half.
Yeah, and I'm really, you can't attribute it to the fact that they didn't want to tire their guys out playing full court pressure all the time, because they used 10 players tonight. I mean, they did. Wilkinson had some kind of a rotation system where he used just about everybody he had on the bench tonight. I really don't know why. They were very effective, and it seemed to unsettle Norristown for a period of about 3 or 4 minutes in the first half and about 3 or 4 minutes in the second half. All in all, though, I think Binky Johnson did a fine job of beating the press. He was the floor general out there. He's the one that kept Norristown composed, cool, and in this ball game. No question about it. I give Johnson a lot of credit for running the floor tonight.
And let me ask you, you're probably just as surprised as I am that when we saw Abington's willingness to get into a running game here at Norristown.
Well, the fact that they got into a running game and then didn't go down low is what shocked me so much. They ran and pulled up for the 22-foot jumper, which I couldn't understand, especially when you had such height advantage inside. The fact that they missed so many shots from the perimeter really shocked me, absolutely shocked me. Nice duck there. I like that.
You like that? I just kind of, it's the fans. It's an autograph session. It's coming up soon.
I know.
Okay, let me, the first time we've seen it, so give us a second here. Jerome Comer, as we said, 23 points, 20 rebounds, 3 for 8 from the line, 10 for 16 from the field. Going down the list, Jeff Hack, 2 points. Chris Parker, 0 points, 6 rebounds, but as you said, totally ineffective here this evening.
And folks, that's their big 6'9" center. No points in this ball game, by far and away the biggest guy out there.
Exactly.
Big disappointment for Jim Wilkinson.
Jim Kreismer, who was the second leading scorer in Norristown tonight, supplying most of his points from outside. 18 points, 4 rebounds, 2 for 11 from three-point area, 7 for 19 from the field overall here this evening. Steve Goldstein, a good hustling defensive player, chipped in with 6 points, a couple of boards. Let's see, we have number 13, that was who? Jeff
Carlitz.
Good old Jeff Carlitz. It didn't matter, he had 0 points anyway. Mike Cottom had 1 point, and Craig Cinnamon had 6 points. Let's see, going here to the Norristown leading scorer, no big surprise, Ken Poole. Yeah. Let's see, you're looking here at 20 points, 2 boards, 5 for 13 from the field, 3 for 7 for three-point range. And one thing, since we really did knock everybody's free throw shooting, he was 7 for 9 from the charity stripe here this evening. Otherwise, we've got, let's see, Vernon Hill, 13 points, 12 rebounds. I never realized he had that many boards in this game.
He did a good job inside tonight.
And the 2 guys you were talking about, Joel Jones and Jeff Thompson, outstanding ball games here tonight underneath. Jones, 10 points, Thompson with 9. Board-wise, Jones with 7, Jeff Thompson with 8. Let's see, otherwise we have Binky Johnson here, 8 points, 4 rebounds, and let's see, 8 assists here. And Priest Ramsey got into the game briefly, had 1 rebound, and that was the only stat going across his board. So there you have it, the final score, Norristown 60, Abington 56. And by the way, overall free throw shooting tonight, Norristown 15 for 28 from the line, but rebounding 34 for Norristown, 44 for Abington. Most of those extra boards coming in the final quarter. Norristown, despite giving up the height, held their own this evening.
Yeah, absolutely, and what a big win as far as league play is concerned. Norristown now has given Abington their first loss in league play so far this season. Abington falls to 8-1 in league. Norristown raises their record to 8-1. They're in a deadlock in Colonial Division play, and the fact that Norristown is 12-2. Yeah. Pardon me, 13-1 overall. Abington falls to 13-3. Big win. Big win for Norristown.
And taking a look at Norristown's upcoming games, of course, on the 2nd, they're home here again at Norristown against CB East. Hit the road for CB West, a game on the February 5th, and then they're home. 2 almost must-win situations, February 9th and February 11th. Both home games on a Tuesday and a Thursday against Penridge and North Penn, and then you see where they're going, February 16th at Abington, and they close the season at CB East.
Yeah.
So it's a good one, and hey, a win's a win, right?
Sure is. Folks, we'd like to thank the Norristown Area School District for bringing you this ball game. Mr. Sam Galbraith produced and directed tonight. Kevin Wilkinson assisted us on camera. Of course, we'd like to thank Walt Fry for helping us with this ball game tonight. Walt did a fine job with our play-by-play commentary. He was the odd man out here on the post-game show. I guess his voice was spent from doing the play-by-play in the 4th quarter. Folks, I'm Jeff Brandon along with Alan Riley. We'd like to thank you for joining us. What an exciting ball game. The Eagles once again winning this game 60-56.